Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. I really want to send a shout out to our whole communications team, our fan experience team, our operations folks, all the people that really on a dime earlier today converted what was going to be a virtual pep rally into a virtual senior night. It was really neat. I'm glad we did it. It was great to see some smiles on our faces and see how our seniors were recognized by their teammates as they came down the line. I know Coach Clawson is going to be in here in a minute. If you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to take them. And if you don't, that's okay too.
John, I guess with the hectic nature of the day, was this kind of the only way that it could be salvaged at least a little bit?
Well, when we saw them come out and saw some smiles on some faces, I was really glad we did it. And to get the smoke going and the deacon on the motorcycle, and certainly would have liked for it to have been in front of a crowd tomorrow during the day. But, we've always made the best of it, no matter what the situation was throughout this 2020 year. And this was another example of that.
John, when did you get the decision from Florida State and kind of what went into their decision making and what was the tone and tenor between the two programs?
Well, first of all, I know that Florida State wanted to play the game. I know Coach Norvell did. Certainly their athletics director, David Coburn, wanted to. We did have some conversations on Sunday, actually, where they had given us a heads up that they were still going through their evaluations after their injury report from their game on Saturday. But late in the day on Sunday, they told us they thought they would be able to play. And so we went along this week. This morning, I can't remember exactly the time, but David called me to let me know that they had had a positive and were doing contact tracing. And he was concerned and was going to check back in with me. And a short time after that, their doctor let our doctor know that they couldn't play. And David called me and said the same thing. So when I went over and I saw Coach Clawson right as the team was ending their walkthrough, unfortunately, but we were able to tell the team immediately, really when they got done with their walkthrough.
What kind of impact? Go ahead.
Was there any chance of having somebody lined up in case Florida State couldn't play to play like a Charlotte or somebody?
Great thought. I mean, I guess we could call the Colorado Buffaloes or something like that and get them to fly in, but you do get into some logistical issues, and there's also safety issues about preparing for a football game, where you really haven't done scouts and stuff like that at all. So I did make some calls on Sunday when we were in that interim period, trying to see when we were waiting to hear for sure from Florida State that they were going to be able to proceed on Sunday. I did make some calls. At this point, there are not a lot of options, unfortunately. And then, by 4:00, Florida State had said they would be able to play. So we didn't make any more calls after that. But as most teams that aren't playing tomorrow or aren't preparing for a bowl game have pretty much shut it down at this point.
John, I know obviously Wake's a private school, but what kind of implications does this have, like budgetary and within the conference? How much does it hurt to not have that extra game at home?
Well, we were disappointed. We only had 4 games at home. That was one of the reasons we really believed that we should have had the opportunity to be at home last week when we had the big schedule shift a couple of weeks ago. So it was disappointing not to have more than 4 home games. It's disappointing for our team not to have a true senior day. But it's a pandemic, and we've all had to persevere. The economic damage of this season from a Wake Forest perspective was really done because of the limitations on the number of seats we're allowed to have in the stadium. I do want to mention one more group, John Hoban and Beverly Duvall, and our sales team and our staff. They've been working so hard over the last month and a half to have a concierge approach with all of our fans. First, they sold them a Miami ticket, and then they got them to change it to a Notre Dame ticket, and then they got them to change it to a Florida State ticket. And so there's some very, very loyal Deacon folks out there, but there are also some of our sales staff that's worked really hard trying to take care of our fans and our donors, et cetera. I also think about the parents and loved ones of our players who had journeyed to be here. We had some here tonight. Some we're going to be coming in tomorrow. But that was one of the reasons we wanted to be able to do this live. James Overstreet and our ACC Network crew that is part of Wake Forest. That's a great crew that has worked tirelessly throughout this year, just as they always do. But this year has had its extra set of wrinkles. I've mentioned Ellie Shannon before. Chauncey Bowers over in the university office. It just goes on and on and on. The number of people, and if you may have seen my tweets with the screenshots of all the people that are involved on a game day in leading our facilities operations folks. There are just so many people that pour their hearts into producing a game and hosting spectators and hosting people at Truist Field. So all those folks were so they just kept coming. They just kept coming, no matter how the schedule changed.
Is the Florida State tickets now going to be translated to down payments for 2021 season tickets, John?
We have a full array of options, Les. We can put you on a payment plan, whatever you want, man. We got a full array of options, but certainly what do we call it, Will? The ticket transparency pledge, or the ticket purchase, TPA, ticket purchase assurance. That was one of our early acronyms of the pandemic. Ticket purchase assurance program continues. You can have a refund. You can turn your program into a your ticket purchase into a donation, or you can apply it to next year. Still applies.
You guys all good?
John, I had one question I wanted to ask you about the players, and they won't be going home at all for Christmas, correct? They're going to stay through until the bowl game's decided and not get a chance to go home, correct?
That's correct, John. That's one of the really challenging things, and is that it's just not practical to send everybody home like it would normally be. Normally, we would have finished the season December the 5th. Normally, our student athletes would have gone right into exams. And one aspect of last week, our student athletes' exams are no joke at Wake Forest. And our student athletes were studying and taking exams and writing final papers, literally right up to game time against Louisville last week. So they would have had exams with really no practice, just some workouts. And then the week that we have just concluded would have been a bowl practice week. And then they would have been able to go home for 4 or 5 days. And then they would have come back, traveled to the bowl site, and have 4 or 5 days of practice. And so it's just not realistic to do that home trip this time.
And will you guys find out Saturday night after the Clemson Notre Dame game, or wait till Sunday, or how's that going to all work out?
Theoretically, we will find out sometime after 2:45 on Sunday afternoon. And believe me, everybody that is in this enterprise, our friends in the bowl association, me, our staff, certainly our equipment managers, Brian and all those guys, we would all love to know right now, kind of like the old days when you used to make your bowl deal in late October or early November. I wish we could have gone back to that this year. And actually, at the conference level, we talked about how to get earlier decisions made so there would be some certainty in an uncertain year. Because it is a challenge for the student athletes. So I had conversations today with different bowls, with TV, with our conference, because I wish we could, decide right now, but there's things in flux because of the football playoff, the CFP, knowing how many teams in the ACC will be in the New Year's Six. There's a chance the ACC team could have a team in the Outback Bowl, and all of that changes the paradigm about where we would go. So unfortunately, we won't know for sure until Sunday afternoon, although we'll continue to try to work to understand it as best we can. I mean, basically at this point, the Duke's Mayo Bowl in Charlotte, the Military Bowl, and the Gator Bowl are the ones that we could potentially be in.
All right, John, that'll wrap you up.
Thanks, John.
Thank you all very much.
Hello, everyone.
Go ahead, Coach. You can start with
Absolutely nothing to talk about. So what? There's no game to wrap up. Just had a senior day ceremony. That was far from ideal, but I appreciate the efforts our athletic department made to try to do something for our seniors. And we're going to give them tomorrow off and see on Sunday where we're heading.
Dave, what were you thinking as the fight song's playing and the seniors are walking off the field? I thought that was kind of the coolest moment, of the ceremony.
No, I think it's great that we did something. In some ways, these guys might remember their senior day more than other classes because of how unique it was and how different it was. Usually you do it right before the game, then you play the football game. But this was different. We're trying to make the best of challenging circumstances. Our team, was just crushed when we found out that Florida State wasn't coming up here. We had put in a whole week of work, felt really good about the game plans. Our players, didn't have finals this week. So the investment that they made in the Florida State game was incredible. They were up the whole week watching extra film and made a huge, huge investment. And we were doing the final walkthrough today when we found out. So it was crushing. It really was. We had guys in tears. For a lot of people, it's game got canceled. What they don't see and realize is the investment the players make every single day and all the work that goes into playing a game and the emotional commitment made to play and just how gut-wrenching it is for them and how emotional they are when they don't get to play and do something they love. So it's not just a matter of, hey, the game's off. It's a whole week of work and investment into something that's really important to them that they now don't get to do. So it was crushing.
How much more can they take, Coach?
9 to 10 more days worth. So we're here. We're committed to seeing this thing through. We know there's the possibility of one more game, and then that's it. So in all reality, we've got till the 28th or the 30th, and we've stuck together this long. We're going to see this thing through, and however it ends, it ends. But incredibly proud of the resilience. And there wasn't one player or one person that said, geez, we shouldn't go play in the bowl now. Never came up. So at least not publicly, and our older guys want to play. Again, I think everybody's anxious to get home, but we've been here all these months and, we're going to get to a bowl. It's important to us and try to get to a bowl and win a bowl championship and finish with another winning season. Those are very important goals.
Dave, given what you said about how much of an investment this is and how gut-wrenching it is when the rug gets pulled out from under you, do you have concern that this could happen again in a week or week and a half?
Yeah, it's the roll of the dice every single week this year. From game 1 with Clemson to game 2 with NC State to the Campbell game. There's not a week that's gone by that this wasn't kind of that dark cloud that you wondered when it would start raining and you wouldn't be able to play. So we've dealt with this every single day for 6 months. Back in July and August when they were talking about canceling the season. And again, I think there's at least a little bit of certainty that it's another 9 to 10 days and then the year's over one way or the other. So we're going to see it through. And I think we can take pride that we've done that.
Anything else, guys? All right, Coach, we'll wrap you up.
Go ahead. Here's another one.
Yeah, Coach, real quick. Just what was it like talking to the guys once you did find out, that the game was canceled, especially the seniors?
John Currie called me right before our walkthrough and said, we may have a problem, but they think they're still okay. And so I didn't share that with anybody. And then we did our special teams walkthrough. We did our warm up and stretch. We just started to do our stretch. And our director of football operations, Jordan Jerry, came up to me and said, they're not coming. And it was just like, no way. And there's no easy way to say that. I just ripped a Band-Aid off and brought the team together and said, Florida State's not coming. And they're like, you're kidding. I'm like, man, I wouldn't kid about something like this. That we're disappointed. You're disappointed. It's not our fault. There's nothing we can do about it. This has happened to other teams, and now it's happening to us. And it's one thing when it happens on a Monday and a Tuesday, you now have greater sympathy for what Clemson and Virginia did, who did all that preparation and flew down there. And it's not just canceling a game. It just feels like this complete investment that you got your football team to make and your coaches to make. But again, moving forward, there's no guarantee we're going to play. But if we choose not to prepare and emotionally invest, pretty much guarantees you're going to get beat. So again, we'll gear it up. We'll do it one more time, and hopefully we'll get to play. And regardless of what happens, I think our football team can hold their head high that they stuck together for 6 months and did everything possible to play as many games as they could.
Hey, Dave, there were 3 guys on the list to go through senior day ceremony. Brandon Chapman, Jack Crane, and Donald Stewart that didn't participate tonight. Does that mean anything? Are they planning on coming back now?
Again, Les, we're going to have discussions with all those guys, probably in early January. Not everybody's coming back, but certainly the high majority of them have shared with us they're planning on coming back. So again, I've tried to remain an optimist through COVID. And in all seriousness, if we had had a normal season, these guys wouldn't have the option of coming back. And maybe they wouldn't want to because they'd feel that their football here was complete. So again, I'm going to take a very optimistic view, and the silver lining view is getting all these players back that we're going to start for us this year. We're going to give ourselves a chance to have a very good football team next year. So again, most of those guys have indicated they're coming back. They haven't finalized it, but even if half of them come back, and I think it'll be more than that, those are our 5-star recruits. Those are some of the greatest grad transfers out there in the market, and they didn't have to go anywhere, and we got them here at Wake Forest. So I'm looking forward to finishing this season strong in the bowl game, but I'm even more jacked up about 21 now with some of these guys coming back. We have a chance to really have ourselves a heck of a ball club if all these guys choose to come back. So I'm getting fired up for 21 already. And hopefully you guys will be allowed to come to practice then. Because we are a media-friendly football program, right, Connor? Amen, brother.
Hey, who's paying for all the room service of these guys in the hotel, by the way? How does that work?
Well, we were going to kind of solicit you guys after we got off the air here, see what you can do for us.
Thanks, Dave.
All right. Have a great weekend, and hopefully we'll be talking Monday and talking about a bowl game. Go Deeks.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.